Y'all, in this video, I'm going to make a dish that I grew up eating. It is my favorite dish of all time. It's called mushroom smothered pork chops. You want to start with an electric skillet. Now, you can make this in a crock pot, but you got to sear the pork chops in a skillet first. I have it set on 350. And I'm on a low sodium diet, per my doctor's orders. So I'm not putting salt on these pork chops. You see that? They're releasing just fine. Now once they release, you turn them. Now I'm putting in my mushrooms. Now, if these mushrooms don't release enough water as they cook to deglaze the pan, you can add a little bit of water to them. Now I'm going to add a tablespoon of flour. Now I'm going to start this with some leftover milk, and then I'm going to add some more to it. Now I'm going to add some heavy whipping cream. I'm going to let this come to a boil and thicken up. Now I'm going to season it. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to it now too. Just a 1/4 teaspoon is all I put in. I'm going to reserve any more seasoning until after it's done. Now, once you've got a thick gravy like this, turn your skillet down to about 200. And put your pork chops in the gravy. You're going to have some juice here. Go ahead and pour that in. I turned my skillet back up to 300. It needs to be at a low boil. Now I'm going to thin out my gravy a little bit, because I want these pork chops covered. So that's what smothered means. Whatever meat you're cooking in a gravy has to be covered with the gravy. Don't try and half-ass it. I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon more salt. And a little more pepper. Y'all notice I'm tasting this as I go. Okay, y'all, this gravy's getting real thick, so I'm going to add some more milk to it. Now I'm going to put the lid on it and let it boil until those pork chops are tender. Now when you put this lid on, you want to turn your skillet down to about 250. You want a gentle boil. And you might want to vent this lid a little bit so it won't boil over. Venting your lid like this will also help that condensation drip down back into that gravy and keep it from getting too thick. Every 30 minutes y'all want to stir this. And it'll probably have some crusty bits on the bottom of it. Break those up. Get them off the bottom, that's okay. This is going to thicken up. It's going to have a skin on it. Just stir it up. If it's getting a little too thick, you can add some water to it. It's done, y'all. Now I will say I added a little more salt and pepper to it. And the pork chops still have a little bit of chew to them. I cooked them for 2 hours. Now a lot of us cook them till they're plumb falling apart. That'll take another 30 minutes to an hour. But I'm hungry, so I'm going to go ahead and eat. Now the way I grew up eating this is over white bread. You put you some white bread down on the plate. Get you a pork chop or two. I'm getting two. I'm hungry. And spoon you some gravy over the top of that bread. We love this gravy. As a matter of fact, we'll fight for it. Southerners love bread and gravy. Looks like shit, but it's delicious. I'm about to tear into these mushroom smothered pork chops. If you cook them long enough, they'll be fork tender. This is one of those dishes you're likely not going to find in a restaurant. I ain't never seen it in a restaurant. Because it takes so long to cook. And for all those flavors to come together. The only way to do this dish justice is to cook it for a long time. Now suppose you could use morel mushrooms for this dish. I ain't ever had it like that, but if I get some morels this spring, I might try it. Yeah, I ain't even coming up for air. It's so good. I'll make a meal with the bread and gravy alone. It's that good. I love it. Well, that's it, y'all. I'm gonna keep eating this.